What's good everyone, it's Kajani with another episode of The Crafter's Corner, a video series dedicated to crafting and gathering in Final Fantasy XIV. In this video, I will go over some news regarding the next live letter, a way to increase your Desynth skill, and my thoughts on Ameliance's custom delivery. Let's get started. We will start off with some news regarding the next live letter. Final Fantasy XIV's 71st producer letter live is scheduled for July 1st at 4 AM Pacific Standard Time. I put a link to the lodestone post in the description of the video with all the specifics on how to watch the live letter. From what we know, we are getting more main scenario quests, the next tier in the Pandemonium Savage raids, island sanctuaries, Criterion dungeons, and most likely a new trial as well. As you can see, we are going to have a lot of stuff to do in patch 6.2, and there may be even more content that they will reveal to us in the upcoming live letter. Of the new content that we're getting, I'm sure everyone is ready to finally find out more about island sanctuaries. With as little as we know, there has been a lot of speculation about it from the player base. Like, some players are hoping for some form of instance housing, others are hoping for basically Stardew Valley but in Final Fantasy XIV, and some think it's just going to give access to gardening to players who don't have a house with a plot. Of course, all of this speculation is understandable. We haven't received any details of what island sanctuaries are since we found out that it was even going to be a thing. If I were to sum up what we know so far, island sanctuaries are going to be the Warrior of Light chilling on a farm with their minions on land that you can decorate. So yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing if that's correct or if there's going to be more to island sanctuaries. Criterion Dungeons is another piece of content that will be brand new to Final Fantasy XIV. So far, all we know is that they will be dungeons that you can run with 1 to 4 players that will scale in difficulty based on the number of players, and that's about it. Criterion Dungeons could be tied to the Relic questline for Endwalker. Normally in a 0.2 patch, usually patch 0.25, Final Fantasy XIV starts the Relic questline for the respective expansion. It would make sense to create something small scale and something that you can run by yourself if you have to in order to complete your Relic in Endwalker. Having something that you can run solo is a good long-term solution in comparison to what's currently happening with completing the Shadowbringer Relic. Like, no one is really running Save the Queen content like that anymore, so the hardest part of getting your Shadowbringer Relic is just finding people to run content with. So yeah, definitely looking forward to what Criterion Dungeons are and how difficult that they can get. So these were the main things that we can expect the developers to talk about in the upcoming live letter. Oh, and of course, they can have plenty of surprises waiting for us as well. I personally am hoping for a new Relic grind for crafters and gatherers. Let me know in the comments below what you are looking forward to in patch 6.2. In patch 6.15, the developers snuck in a few new craftable furnishings. For wall-mounted furnishings, we have the simple arched window and the ornamental crystal array. If you dim the lights, you will find that the crystal array actually glows a little bit, which is a nice touch to an otherwise simple housing item. The other indoor furnishing that was released this patch is the iron chair. Nothing special about it, it's definitely just a chair. Last but not least, we have the raised wooden deck. If you're into jumping around on things, it has these little stumps that you can use to climb up onto the main deck. So those were all the furnishings that were released in Final Fantasy XIV patch 6.15. If you have a favorite, let me know in the comments below. In patch 6.15, the Moonward gear set can now be sold, desynth, or submitted for expert deliveries. From a crafting standpoint, you can desynth Moonward gear to level up your desynthesis skill. Don't sleep on having a high desynth skill for your crafting jobs. Desynthesizing items is a good way to stock up on regular crafting mats and make some gil on the side. One of the best ways to make gil using your desynthesis skill is by desynthesizing primal weapons that drop from extreme trials into materials used to craft the glowing versions of said primal weapons. The higher your desynthesis skill is, the more likely you'll get one of these rare materials. So one example would be desynthing a weapon that drops from Hell's Kier Extreme into a Scarlet Feather. A Scarlet Feather currently sells for 300k on my server. That's a good amount of gil that you can make off a fight that isn't difficult unsynced. And you can make stuff like that happen by having a high Desynth skill. So if you have extra tomes of aphorism, just purchase some gear and desynth it. Having a high desynthesis skill in Final Fantasy XIV can be really valuable in more ways than one. The story for Ameliance's custom delivery has been pretty good so far. I have a newfound respect for Ameliance after she pulled that Jedi mind trick to get Rowena and the Warrior of Light to assist with her homestead program. I never thought I would see the day someone would get one over on Rowena, but Ameliance made it happen. When she hit us with that wink, I was like, well played, Ameliance, well played. Not gonna lie, I am still a little disappointed that they allowed Ameliance to be glamored after reaching her max satisfaction rating, because I know what's about to happen. Ameliance is about to be glamored in all sorts of craziness. You're probably like, Kajani, come on, it's not that serious. And I will tell you, it is though. It is that serious. Mainly because we have a connection with Ameliance that we don't have with the other custom delivery clients. Like, she's mother of the twins, low-key involved with the Scions, she played a role in the story. Like, I just hate to see what's about to happen to one of the most beloved characters in Final Fantasy XIV. But I'm gonna be okay though. So that was my last rant over this whole Ameliance thing, and that will also conclude this episode of the Crafter's Corner. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.